What is going on, everybody? Y'all know what it is. This is the weekly tech and AI news with both myself, Cyrus, as well as the queen of AI. And we're going to be talking about things that have been happening this week with, of course, both technology and AI, covering both some interesting news, things that are drama, as well as a bit of education when it comes to some new technology that is coming out and different updates that are happening in the industry as well. So just give everybody a bit of a heads up. For those that are interested in being able to learn about AI technology, the new emerging, the new technologies that are coming out, all of the updates when it comes to generative AI, but more specifically how you can leverage it in either your business or your professional career. Make sure you do tap in with, that's hilarious. Somebody say, hallelujah. That's hilarious. Make sure you do tap in with Ash, who's here. Either tap in with her directly to be able to book coaching sessions with her, or you can tap in with her through our actual tech community, whether you join within our boot camp that leverages either tech sales or QA, but our programs are enhanced when it comes to AI knowledge in those fields. So either one, you can either tap in with her directly, or you can tap in with her through our community and boot camp. Aside from that, y'all, we have an amazing lineup of things we want to talk about. Ash, is there anything you want to say really quick before we go ahead and get started? I guess something you want to say to the people?
Yeah, I mean, there are several game-changing innovations, you guys. So, I mean, I'm excited to discuss the latest news with Cyrus here. So let's get into it.
Jesus Princess says tech sales. That's like it's like what about tech sales? You just like randomly blurted out tech sales. That's hilarious. All right, good stuff, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the first bit of news that's going on. Not sure if everybody is aware, but you're about to be aware of what is happening with the CEO of Telegram. Now, Telegram is a major competitor to WhatsApp. Me living in Colombia, I'm using Telegram pretty frequently right now. Actually, not Telegram. I'm using WhatsApp pretty frequently right now. So, just the news states, Telegram CEO denies the app is an anarchist paradise. Now, just a quick context as to what's been going on. The CEO of Telegram was actually arrested in France. So literally this $1 billion CEO is currently in jail in another country. And the reason why they've jailed him, I'm giving a little bit of context. The reason why they've imprisoned him is because there are a lot of terrorists and potential terrorists that make their plans and host their communications over Telegram, over the Telegram platform. And so France arrested him because they're saying that he has, as a CEO, has not been active enough in shutting down these terrorist groups and organizations. So they want him to police the platform to where if there seems to be some type of communication happening, whether it's legitimate or whether people are joking, they want him to shut down the communication on the platform. So one question I'm going to ask you before I go ahead and read through his response, I'm going to ask everybody, what are your thoughts on that? Do you believe that as a CEO, whether we're talking X or Twitter, whether we are talking about Telegram, whether we're talking about Instagram, do you believe it's the duty of these businesses to shut down certain communication that's happening on their app? And where does that line get drawn? Because we've all seen when everything that happened during the jab area or the panoramic. We're not going to say the certain words because this video could get flagged. Kind of going back to the conversation we're having. This video could get flagged based on certain words we say. So sometimes we all don't like it when these platforms like flag us or they make it to where a post of ours gets taken down or it gets hidden because we say a word or two. But at the same time, France seems to say, hey, no, you need to police anything that seems like it could be something because it could possibly be a threat. So I want to know from you all, what are your thoughts on that? I'm going to go ahead and read through their response that's here on Yahoo News, at least the news that's reported on Yahoo News. So Telegram founder and CEO Pavel Durov has promised to step up efforts to fight criminality on the messaging app. In his first public comments since the French authorities handed him preliminary charges for allegedly allowing the platform's use for criminal activity. In a Telegram post late Thursday, Durov defended himself against a French judicial investigation, suggesting that he shouldn't have been targeted personally. This is what he says. The founder, he says, using laws from the pre-smartphone era to charge a CEO with crimes committed by third parties on a platform he manages is a misguided approach, the post said. He continued on by saying, building technology is hard enough as it is. No innovator will ever build new tools if they know they can be personally held responsible for potential abuse of those tools. Ooh, that's an interesting point. While insisting Telegram was not some sort of anarchic paradise, Durov said surging numbers of Telegram's users caused growing pains that made it easier for criminals to abuse our platform. That's why I made it my personal goal to ensure we significantly improve things in this regard. We've already started that process internally, and I will share more details on our progress with you very soon, he said. French investigators detained Durov at the Paris airport, or French airport, outside Paris in late August and questioned him for 4 days as a part of a sweeping probe opened earlier in 2024. Released on a 5 million euros, basically $8 million US bail, he has to report to a police station twice a week. That is interesting. Very interesting. What's going on, Woo TV? Very interesting. So, all right, y'all. So we got to talk about this. Got to know what y'all's thoughts are on this. Oh, Jesus was saying when you said tech sales, you're saying I want to get into tech sales. That's why you randomly blurted out tech sales. Yeah. So all you need to do, Jesus, if you click the description that's underneath this video, you'll actually see a link that's down there for you to be able to schedule a call with our team. So heads up. Our career advisors are a bit backed up because we have a lot of people that are trying to join our boot camp, whether the tech sales or the QA. And so our team are a bit backed up. We're probably going to hire 1 or 2 more people next week. Right now, we're kind of in the interviewing process, which of course is a very tedious and tough thing because we really want to make sure that basically people like take the job serious and aren't just coming on and don't really understand what our platform is and just really our heart behind helping people get in the tech industry. So yeah, anyway, you can schedule a call with our career advisors below. For everybody else, and also y'all, just a quick heads up, that link that's down there does give you a discount off. It's roughly about a $500 discount that's off that you get if you use that specific link. And for everybody that's not sure about whether you want to do QA or you want to do tech sales, literally you can click on that same link. We have a brand new quiz that everybody's been loving. It's actually a quiz where it's titled like, what should you do in tech? And it's actually a quiz that helps you determine between tech sales or QA. So that way you don't have to play a guessing game. You can literally do the quiz and the algorithm basically is able to help you determine which one is the best route for you. All right, good stuff. Oh, your name, Jesus Princess, not Jesus. There's only one Jesus. Well, I'm in Colombia. Tell that to the South Americans. There's a whole lot of people named Jesus out here. So there's a whole lot of Jesuses out here. And that's anyway, so but I do agree there's only one true Lord and Savior. I agree with that. So good stuff. All right, you said you're saving for course careers. So course careers is great. Our tech sales program actually pays you while you're doing the program. So that now if you qualify for that. If you don't qualify for that, the other option is that you don't pay anything unless we help you land a job. If you don't get a job, like after you finish our program, then you don't have to pay us anything. Again, course careers is great. If you still want to do course careers, my recommendation, if you want to save a little bit of money, because you said you're saving up money, if you want to save a little bit of money, message me so I can give you my discount link for course careers so you can save some money on the program. Course careers, again, is a great program. I believe ours is better, but at the end of the day, it's like you're splitting hairs. They're both really phenomenal programs. So I definitely still think course careers is great. All right, good stuff. So let's read through some of the responses from this news with a Telegram CEO. All right. Good stuff. Coop said, I recently graduated a cybersecurity bootcamp and I'm still trying to figure out what path I want to take on. Well, it sounds like something in cybersecurity if you do a cybersecurity bootcamp, because going a different route. Maybe we're talking about something like what path you want to take on within cybersecurity. Let me know which program you did, because the programs that I recommend, they give you that guidance, that help. So if you do a program where they don't help give you that guidance after, to me, that's the same thing as college, which again, college is okay, but again, college doesn't give you direction or assistance afterwards. So make sure y'all that are doing boot camps, you're doing a boot camp that gives you that guidance and assistance afterwards. All right, good stuff. Let me set this Apple down. So Ash, what do you think about this, the issue with the Telegram CEO?
Well, I think it's a step in the right direction when it comes to security and ethics regarding AI. And so they do have valid concerns when it comes to Telegram being a platform where certain, perhaps illegal, you know, events occur, but nonetheless, I do also perhaps lean towards it maybe being a little bit extreme. But then again, I'm not really sure of the exact details of it. I mean, he had to pay millions of dollars in a fines, and so obviously, with our systems, we would assume that they're innocent until proven guilty. So I will definitely be interested in seeing exactly where the platform went wrong as far as the French legal system goes. But nonetheless, it really does bring to the stage conversations that need to be had just about AI ethics and really managing these security systems.
Yeah, it's interesting to me. And obviously, this has nothing to do with technology. But when it talks about fines, like them fining him the equivalent of $8 million USD, it kind of makes the whole fine thing pretty silly because he's a billionaire. It's
Right, like a slap on the wrist.
$8 million. And mind you, I'm not saying that they should charge him more, and I'm not saying they should charge him less. I'm just saying that the purpose of a fine is supposed to be so much money that it's basically it's supposed to keep the person from going on the run. It's supposed to be like their way of saying, hey, I'm not gonna flee. So I'm gonna give you so much money that it technically would hurt me to leave. Like I can't leave because I've given you all of this money. It's basically my promise that I'm not gonna leave.
Right.
But $8 million is inconsequential to a billionaire.
Right.
So it kind of highlights how oftentimes the government is really, they just want money. Because they're like, yeah, we'll take 8 million. Because again, 8 million is nothing to him. Like,
right.
If they want to really hurt him, they could have said maybe 50 million, maybe 100 million. Because let's keep in mind, even though he's a billionaire, we all know most of these billionaires don't have $1 billion. Not most of them. None of them have $1 billion cash sitting in their account. It's usually in stocks, in real estate. It's the equity they have in their own company and stuff like that. Technically, they could pull it all out and have billions of dollars, but no wise person is going to do that. Nevertheless, $8 million is so inconsequential to him. So it's very silly, in my opinion, that they did that. Look at some of the comments. So SR House says, I'm waiting on my call and or email for the QA program. Yeah, good stuff. SR, if you can DM me on Instagram or LinkedIn your email, I will make sure that my team prioritizes you. Again, they're calling through a long list of people, but whenever people hit me up directly and let me know, hey, I'm waiting on a call, of course, I'm going to tell the team to prioritize you and kind of put you at the front of the list because it's, squeaky wheel is the one that gets all the oil. All right. So Jesus Princess says accountability of some sort is necessary. If you use the platform for corruption or crime, then our lives are all at risk. She continues on. $8 million is a slap on the wrist for him. Yeah, definitely. So what do y'all think? Do y'all side with the government? Do you think as a CEO, he is held responsible or blamed for some of the criminal communication that's happening on this platform? Think Instagram or Twitter or X. If people are on there talking about possible criminal activities, should the CEO be arrested if a crime takes place? I'm curious to know y'all's thoughts on that. Or is that something where the CEO's like, yo, we're just providing a communication platform? Because it's kind of so where does it end? And I promise y'all, I don't really have this is one of the rare occasions I don't have a strong argument on, I don't have a strong opinion on either side. But my question is, to where does it end? Because all of these platforms, including Apple, can technically listen to all of our phone calls. If somebody plans a terrorist attack or something crazy via text message, via iMessage or via over the phone, should Tim Cook or Apple be held liable if they don't send authorities to that person? And for those of y'all that have kept up with Apple, they are, I don't want to say notorious because notorious has a negative connotation. They are famous or infamous, whichever side you want to look at it from. They are famous or infamous for not working with the government to release people's like information. That's part of Apple's brand that most people today don't know about, is that they are for people having freedom away from government and away from like big corporations, even though they are a big corporation. And so it's like, where does it end? Like, where do you think the line is at versus where it's like, okay, no, these corporations or the government now has too much access to where we think are private communication channels. All right. Woo TV says, I was just watching a 2-hour interview with the former Netflix CEO. Had to put that on pause for the Tech Talk. Says, oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Coop says, if he was involved, excuse me, if the CEO was involved in some sort, then yes. But otherwise, no. Seems like the government is using him as a scapegoat. Possibly, because there have been a lot of terrorist attacks that have been happening in France. Continuing on, or not continuing on, Jesus Princess says, at the same time, I hate the flagging on YouTube for quote, unquote, keywords. Yeah, exactly. All right. Someone said Obama ended the eavesdrop from the government in 2009. Yeah, he did. But yeah, again, yeah, y'all know stuff is still going on. They're still eavesdropping to some degree. Rhonda says the line is putting others in danger. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. All right, y'all. Interesting conversation. We're gonna go ahead and pass it over to Ashley because she's got some amazing news to talk about when it comes to AI and updates that you all should be aware of. Let me look at some of these.
Well, let's do it. So I'm going to prepare to share my screen with you guys. And what we're going to be getting into is some very, very interesting generative AI developments. So think of the future of film. We know how AI is becoming more realistic than ever and indistinguishable from reality. So we're going to go ahead and hop into that. 1 second, you guys. Let me make sure everything's good here.
Yeah. It is developing so fast right now in terms of, like, I remember a year and a half ago, not even that long ago, where it didn't look real. And now it's starting to look so indistinguishable where it's like, man, a year from now, at least a year from now, I don't think we're going to, there might be a game show where it's going to be like AI or not AI or something like that. We're going to have to like figure out or guess whether it's AI or not. And that's going to be really, really spooky. Okay, I see you got it here. I'm going to add it to the stage.
Okay. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely getting very scary with the way that things are developing. So let's go ahead and get into it. We'll start off with a few topics that we're going to be covering today. So obviously starting off with our revolutionizing AI technology that's hyper realistic, then going into some of the most powerful AI systems. We're getting into supercomputers and AGI. And we're also going to get into, of course, some of those open source systems beyond OpenAI, of course, into Microsoft's new program, and also covering sustainability with AI-driven solar energy. And of course, we're going to be asking that final question: when are we going to see AGI? So let's get into it. Okay, you guys. So this is the latest AI generator, and it's actually a company called Minimax. It's a free platform. I believe it's based in China. So it's a Chinese platform. And so as you guys can see, we're looking at hyper realistic content that is really getting closer to that indistinguishability when it comes to film and content creation. So I'm just going to kind of let this run through. I mean, just so we can see exactly the level of detail and the variety of content. So, I mean, AI obviously has a far way to go as far as really perfecting this. But I mean, if we look at these videos here and these visuals, we can see, the karate scene isn't the best, but it's going to get there. So we can really look into the future and see what the anticipation is going to be for the future of reality and virtual reality. And so this last clip here is absolutely insane. I mean, the detail is incredible. And so this is going to be just another preview of this, just because the level of this is getting absolutely insane. So this is kind of like a Terminator situation that this person created, but you can see the variation of it not only being from a film perspective, but also animation. So we're looking at, creating animes or, realistic films from leveraging AI technology. So let's get into it. Minimax is an AI generator, as I mentioned before, from China, and it's rapidly gaining massive attention. It's going viral for their hyper realistic footage. And so what they specialize in is human motion and rendering human motion. So we can see this is Snoop Dogg, diving into some pizza here. We saw Will Smith, eating the spaghetti, which the quality was obviously, not up to par only last year. And so now we're already here to where, the level of detail is absolutely insane. So let's get into it, you guys. Interested to see what you think. A few questions up front. I'm interested to see what you think, Cyrus, first and foremost. So let's start there.
Man, look, no disrespect to anybody who is no disrespect to anyone who desires to be a actor or someone who is a thespian, but I'm going to say this straight up. Unless you are already starring in TV shows or movies that are airing on major platforms, you need to go ahead and change careers. Because it was being an actor or actress was already something that is like you have to be in the top 0.001% of people to be successful in it. Because there are actors that we see on TV shows that still aren't successful. We have to be very clear. Being successful as an actor or actress, if we're speaking about you being successful in the sense that you can pay your bills and live a life and take care of your family and have the freedom you want, just being on TV, sometimes even being in movies is not enough. You have to at least be like a C-list or B-list actor that's being seen pretty frequently. I mean, because what is it? The main actor on the show Power, the guy who played what's his name? Because I didn't watch the show. I've just seen clips of it. The main actor, the guy who plays Ghost, y'all know he's technically broke. He's talked about it openly many times, and he was the lead actor on a popular, like a super popular TV show. Now we don't know whether or not he was managing his money well, because I do think at some point he was getting paid roughly, I think it was $100,000 or $200,000 per episode. Which at that point you're kind of like, bro, what did you do with your money? But depending on how much he pays his agent, depending on how much he pays the rest of his team, taxes are going to eat up about 40 to 60% of that. So realistically, he's probably walking away with like maybe about $120K a month, which I know it's still a lot of money. But again, if his agent is taking 20%, his lawyer fees, all these other things, he probably was walking away with about $40,000, $50,000 a month. And then depending on where he lived at, depending on what car he was driving, that could all be eaten up really quickly. So that's a whole different sidebar conversation. I'm saying all of this just to highlight. Yeah, thank you, Omari Hardwick. This is his actual name. I'm saying this to highlight. If you are not, like, I have friends that are actors that are actually in TV shows right now. And I'm not going to tell y'all, I sometimes want to just tell them like, yo, I know you love this acting thing. It's not about if you can be successful in it. It's that the timeline is probably going to take before you make it big. You're not just competing anymore against all the other great actors and actresses. You are now competing with artificial intelligence. And let's keep it real. These companies are here for money. Their most expensive thing sometimes with making these movies are the actors and actresses. Their biggest headaches are the actors and actresses. Or let's talk about the writing strike that just happened. I'm not gonna lie, y'all know I love Stranger Things. I'm still upset that we've been waiting all these years for the next season of Stranger Things to come out. And why have we been waiting? We've been waiting for two reasons. One, because of the writing strike. And two, because the actor, Millie Bobby Brown, the main character, she's been a little kind of, I'm not gonna say bougie, but she's been a bit kind of like, okay, I don't need Stranger Things anymore. Yeah, you made me famous, but now I don't need you. You need me. We're getting to a world where producers, executive producers, directors are going to be like, oh my gosh, we no longer have to worry about writers. Maybe they just need 1 or 2 writers to look over the story that AI has created. Maybe they just need 1 or 2 real actors, but everybody else can be AI generated.
Right.
And it will save them so much money. This is very scary. This is about to, I'm not gonna lie, this actually makes me want to invest into the movie industry, because now since they're going to be able to cut all of these costs, they're just going to have profit on profit on profit. I don't know. These are my thoughts. What are y'all saying in the comments? Someone said LinkedIn. Oh, so all right. Somebody say for anime. Where did that comment go? Oh, Coop says, hooray for anime. Yeah, the anime stuff is about to be through the roof now. He says, this is fun to me. LinkedIn user says, I think the content creation will be more competitive. I believe English majors, writers will benefit from this. Coop continues on and says, actors want to copyright themselves into AI, but they need to do that ASAP. Yes. ASAP. Honestly, they need to do it now, because eventually we're going to reach a point to where instead of an actor being, we might reach a point to where eventually actors aren't going to be paid that much to have their image copied. It's kind of like right now, they better get on the boat where they can charge as much as they can and lock in a deal or a lifetime deal, versus it's about to be really crazy. You have to think about it. Now we're getting to the point to where there's no such thing as actors being aged out of their careers. Because now we can literally have an actor wherever their age is. Like, think about James Bond, where why do we always change James Bonds? It's usually because the actor gets aged out of the role. So they have to get a new James Bond. We're going to get to a point to where you can have a James Bond and he never ages out of the role. It's going to be very interesting. Actors have to copyright themselves into AI versions, which would still implement the fact that people love particular actors in a plethora of movie types. Wu TV says, maybe because they were in the consumer side and not the business side. Same with athletes. I think if you're an actor, you are a business, because producers still eating. Look at Tyler Perry. Oh yeah, definitely. Continuing on, I think it goes back to financial literacy, because I love movies and still want to act, but still thinking about film production. Hence Wu TV. Oh, that's why the Wu TV. It makes sense now. Reese says they are probably broke because of financial literacy, not because they are not making enough money. Yeah, that's true. I agree. I will say it is very hard. Like, let's say Omari Hardwick is living off of about $40,000 or $50,000 a month as an actor. But I promise you, this is gonna sound so crazy. That's not a lot of money. It's really not for someone like him. Because let's say he lives, because he's an actor. So let's say, I don't know where Power is filmed at. Let's say Power is filmed in LA, Hollywood. Just for him to live in a certain area where he has a gated community and has certain protection that he would need as a famous person, his rent or mortgage living out there would probably be close to $20,000 a month. And I'm saying this as someone who, my rent in Miami, where I'm not a celebrity, my rent where I was living at was $10,500 a month. So his rent or mortgage probably could be anywhere between $15,000 to $25,000 a month. That alone has eaten up half of that $50,000. So now he has $25,000 left over. Now we're talking about, him traveling, him flying places. So as an actor, he probably is on a flight on average once or twice a week. Let's say 2 times a week, which is not crazy, because on average, I fly about once or twice a week myself. Let's say he's flying first class most times. Let's say on average for first class and the amenities, let's say he's spending about $1,000. Somebody say, are we on topic? Yeah, maybe we are getting off topic. But basically, I'm kind of addressing the comment about like how the money works and how this can affect actors. So movie studios will be willing to spend the amount of money it would take to have a tool like that. Yes, they have more than enough money to do that. All right. Jimmy says, I imagine that the cost of the AI that would be able to generate something like that will be astronomical. Yeah, we're actually going to talk about that in a second, about the cost of AI and what's about to happen with the prices. I think maybe some of the industries will be able to pay it, but I don't think most. So yeah, we're talking about small indie studios. So you actually are right, spot on with one of the conversations we are about to have. So Wu says, "Trust me, fam. Tubi is not going nowhere." I remember being on Tubi, laughing in 2018, calling it Tubi or not. Oh, Tubi or not to be. That's hilarious. Tubi or not to be. Now it's being mentioned with Netflix. That's crazy. Somebody said Bleach on level 100. I'm not even really sure what you mean by that comment. Somebody said
It's an
Taraji
anime.
P. Oh, it's an anime.
Yeah.
Are you an anime girl? Are you an anime girly?
I am.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. I love anime. My top 3, this is definitely off topic, you guys, but has to be mentioned. Number 1, Naruto. Let's go. Number 2, probably like Tokyo Ghoul, and number 3, Akame ga Kill. So shout out to the anime fans out there. But so to conclude, before we transition into Cyrus's point about the change in prices, right? I really want to highlight how the future is going to rely on prompt engineering. Okay, and that's evolving into being multimodal. So it's not only going to be text to chat, it's going to be text to image, text to video, text to movie, text to anything that we can imagine. So just getting into developing certain skill sets. Cyrus has already spoken on to QA engineering with the emphasis on AI. Really gaining these skills is going to be major and key. So go ahead. I will give the floor to Cyrus now to really discuss ChatGPT and how we're going to be changing the prices with that platform. So let me end the presentation here, and then we'll get into the next topic.
So we are about to enter a very interesting era, because ChatGPT could cost $2,000 a month. Get ready to pay more. So OpenAI is considering an exponential increase in subscription prices for the upcoming versions of ChatGPT. While no final decision has been made, this potential price hike reflects the growing costs and capabilities of AI technology. So to highlight, according to leaked internal discussions, OpenAI is exploring subscription prices of up to $2,000 per month for ChatGPT business plans. The company has already surpassed 1 million paying users for its enterprise-focused ChatGPT services. New models like Strawberry and Orion are expected to improve logical reasoning capabilities. So I'm going to be real, y'all. Where we're getting into, because let's pause for a moment and let's speak about the reality of what some people know, some people don't know. ChatGPT is currently not profitable. Like, they're actually, despite them having a subscription model, despite 1 million users paying every month, it costs more money than they're making. So it still is a business that is technically not profitable. So just kind of like Amazon itself was not profitable for 10 years, but it's more so that investors were investing in it, even though they were technically not making money. They were investing in the future probability, which of course it worked out for Amazon. Now Amazon is very profitable. Same thing with Uber. ChatGPT obviously at some point is going to be profitable. It's just a matter of, it's very expensive to do what they're doing. It costs a lot of money and it requires a lot of energy, which no one asked me. You probably asked Ash like what that means in terms of energy and how much it's costly. I don't get it. I just know like what's being said. That being said, they're losing money. So it sounds like this is something that will actually make them profitable. So I mean, how much is ChatGPT? I pay for it. I think it's like $9 a month, 20, 40 nothing. There's something that's small. It's just enough just to help with some of their costs, but not all of their costs. And so now going back to the previous conversation, we are about to step into a world where if you don't make a certain amount of money, you're not even going to have the latest AI or latest technology. So we're going to step into a world where businesses are going to be, I mean, this already happens, but it's about to happen even more, where businesses and even individuals will be able to outcompete others because they have the latest technology. They have the latest AI. Think about it. Like, one of the things that Ash specializes in is being able to show you how to leverage AI to be able to either help you land a job or help you in your interviewing process or help you even in your job or business. We might end up stepping into a world, a day and age, where someone is going to get more jobs or their business is going to be more successful, not because they are better, but because they just so happen to have more money and they can afford the latest and greatest technology versus someone else who has like a very outdated AI model. It's almost like y'all have seen those dystopian movies where like it's like that robot movie where there's like robots that fight, where it's like you want the latest and greatest technology in order to be able to be competitive. But unfortunately, because you don't have the latest and greatest technology, you don't have the money your competitors have. So it's kind of like, how will you ever be able to compete if you don't start from money? Like right now, we talk about how being born broke is a setback, but you still can compete enough in the world today. Like I come from the gutter, government housing or government assisted living. Like over half my family have been unalived. Like, and I'm not exaggerating. Like every year I lose about 2 or 3 family members. I don't talk about this stuff on social media. And I mean from them overdosing or them actually being unalive, them being like, pew-pewed, or them being in prison for doing something. So I come from that, but God has still blessed me and allowed me to get to where I'm at. I'm not mega ultra successful, but I'm very successful. Nevertheless, we might be entering a day and age where it's like that might be eliminated. It really might create a bit of a caste system to where it's like if you're born, I don't know. Let's get over to what y'all think. So somebody says she is AI generated too perfect. Who y'all talking about? It's my Ash. Oh yeah, y'all. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Ash actually isn't a real person. She's actually a AI model that we actually started doing this just to see if we can fool you all. But somebody was able to point it out. Ash, exactly. She's too perfect. She's not a real person. She is an AI model. Now that's funny. Someone said my top 3 is Chainsaw Man, Dragon Ball, and Jujutsu. So when you say Dragon Ball, do you mean Dragon Ball Z, or are you actually meaning Dragon Ball, like the original? I'm curious. I'm not even gonna disrespect y'all. I was gonna pretend like I know all the anime shows. I really don't. I was gonna start naming Attack on Titan, and I've never watched Attack on Titan. So I'm not even gonna disrespect y'all. I'm one of those black people that didn't even know Dragon Ball Z was anime. Like I remember people used to be like, "Oh yeah, we all watch anime," and I was like, "I've never watched anime." My friends were like, "Yes, you do watch anime," and I was like, "I've never watched anime." Like you watch Z, and I was like, "That's not anime," and they were like, "Yes, it is," and I didn't realize it was anime. I was like, "Dang, that's crazy." But shouts out to all y'all that love anime. I love seeing, and it's for everybody, but I love seeing basically black people that are experiencing things that culturally used to be taboo for us. Like, oh, you like that stuff and you're black. Same thing with technology. I love seeing us appreciating different things that aren't necessarily originally from our culture, and us also adding to those things as well. I love seeing y'all do it. I love seeing us do it. David says, to require help from Cyrus, why does all your stuff have to be paid for, bro? Can you just help out for people who don't have the opportunity, bro? Wonderful, wonderful question. So why does all your stuff have to be paid for? All right. So just kind of address this really quickly. I have over 200 hours worth of free education and content on YouTube. It actually might be close to 1,000 hours of content. Now, this content includes education, not just for myself. It includes education from top-level tech recruiters, hiring managers, leaders in the industry, executives, people that are leveraging AI, people that just broke into the industry, people that are boot camp founders, people that are working in robotics, people that are working with chips like what we're talking about, like what NVIDIA does. All of this free content is out there. To take it a step further, every week, I post 3 to 5, again, free information that I do not get any compensation for, and it takes up my time to do that every single week. So you have the free information. On top of that, in order for me to be able to communicate and answer people's questions in the DMs like I do on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, email, in order to do that, I used to spend 2 hours of my day, and I'm not exaggerating. I would sit down for 1 hour to go through my DMs. I would take a 15, 30-minute break. I would come back for another hour, go through my DMs, and I still was getting backed up in my DMs. So where people were in my comments complaining, saying, oh, he doesn't answer his DMs. I literally spend 2 hours a day answering DMs. So what did I do to solve this? I took money out of my pocket to hire a team and pay them a full-time salary so they could answer my DMs with me. I created an entire QA, entire FAQ, and I update it weekly with answers to questions that you all ask. I pay them out. To also help with the content generation, to give you free content and education, I hired a video editor and videographer. My videographer, I'm gonna let y'all know this. I don't talk about this stuff. For Tech is the New Black, the videographer for Tech is the New Black, I pay him $7,500 a month. Our not production manager, our operations manager that makes sure that the team is on task, which we always fall off task, I pay her $3,000 a month. And this is just that part of the team. We're not talking about the career advisors that you all call and speak to, where they're being paid a couple $1,000s a month each. We're not talking about, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So I am spending roughly $20,000 a month to help give you all these things and give you this information, including, and most of this is free information. Now we talk about education with you doing a job in tech. Now you're telling me if you want to get the education for free, now you're either saying one of two things. You either want my instructors who have families, have bills, have expenses, have lives. You're either saying that they should do instruction for free forget about their bills and their livelihood. Either they should do it for free or I should pay them out of pocket to help you get a high paying career, which again, you have free information that's there. But in terms of the education of you, let's say you want to book me for my time, like one-on-one, or you are doing the boot camp, which again, both of these cost thousands of dollars, tens of thousands, 20s of thousands of dollars every month from me. You want us to invest in you with no return, but it's for you. I'm going to be real. That's an extremely selfish thing, And I need you to shift your mind from you having a selfish mindset to you having a mindset where you understand the process of you investing in yourself. Because you're asking me to invest in you when you're not even investing. Think of it this way. Let's say you're a business. You're going to investors saying, hey, can you give me a bunch of money? And the investors ask you, okay, well, how much money of your own money have you invested into your business, into your own business? Nothing. I just want you to invest in my business, though. To the investor, it says, you don't even believe in yourself enough to invest in your business, but you want me to invest in your business. So why would I invest in your business? So again, great. I'm gonna be real, very great question, because I've seen time and time again people pop up asking this question. And I want you, like, again, even our boot camp with everything that's within it is less than 10% the price of college and university. And we help significantly more people get jobs in tech, given our size and scope, than most colleges and universities. So yeah, y'all, like, let's be real. I don't talk about this stuff publicly. Like, people don't know how much I spend. And there have been plenty of times where, despite how much money I make, there have been some times where I've been like, man, I can't take this trip, or I can't do this thing, I can't do that thing, because it's either I pay my team and I take care of all this stuff, or I get to enjoy my week. Y'all don't know the sacrifices I make. I just don't talk about this stuff because I'm not a Debbie Downer type of person. I'm not a person that's like, oh man, I'm making all this money, but everything is so expensive because of this and that. I don't do that. I'm just here to help people become successful because this is my passion in my heart. And again, y'all, I didn't even break it down fully. I could go further into detail, but for the sake of time and the sake that this is not the main conversation we're having, I at least wanted to explain this to some degree. All right, let's get back to the topic. And also, I want to say, I don't mean any disrespect to David. because I get it. I really get it because I was there. I don't mean any disrespect. It is a valid question. It is a valid question. But trust me, we're doing this for free. Ash is not being paid for this. I'm not being paid for this. You know, we're talking about things that are happening in the tech industry to keep you all aware of what's happening, whether you're in tech or you're not in tech. So, Cyrus, I'm going to reach out on LinkedIn about the boot camp. I'm interested in getting more details. Oh, definitely. Jimmy says, "What do you think will happen to the middle class and low wage earners?" Ashley, what do you think about that?
So, I think it's important to not lean on the doomsday scenario, because what AI technology and the advancements of it does is provides us with opportunity on our plates. And so, although, of course, it takes money to make money, as they say, but that's always been true. But when it comes to AI systems, a lot of them are open source or even free resources. I mean, Minimax, as we already discussed, that's a free resource. There are many out there that are available. And so we really have to take the initiative to conduct research, to really join communities. You guys are already a part of a massive community that's going to be able to help you gain the skills necessary. But technology isn't going to replace humans. It's going to enhance human development, human progress. And so we have to really think of it in alignment with that process, because it's changing everything. But we're also going to have to adapt as well. And so we also have competitive advantages. These large, huge companies, when it comes down to, of course, that $2,000 a month, for example, price, that's huge, right? But that comes down to massive amounts of compute, right? So we're going to be discussing compute next on different programs and platforms that are coming out and developing in the industry. But for now, ChatGPT 4.0, it's around, 20 or so dollars. It's very affordable. And there's many other opportunities that are affordable as well. So it's just going to take us to take advantage of opportunities at the end of the day. So it's not all doomsday. It's not doom and gloom. I believe in a future of progress and acceleration. And so that's how I feel about it.
I feel like I'm the doom and gloom person. I'm like, oh, y'all, it's about to get really scary. It's gonna get really bad.
It is gonna get very scary.
She's like, y'all, this is such a great opportunity. So beautiful and so wonderful. And I'm like, yo, y'all, it's all about to be over. We all gonna die.
Which I love the perspective,
Like good cop, bad cop. I'm like, yo, y'all, you better get in tech or you better start using this AI before you sleep. And she's like,
Absolutely.
guys, it's so much fun and wonderful using the technology. All right, good stuff. Wu TV says, missed the whole point of tech is the new black. Yeah. Lodi says, the good things in life don't come cheap. Okay. I appreciate y'all's comments. I am trying to like skirt around the comments that are about like the previous statement, because I don't want us to focus on that. I'm happy I said it just so people can kind of know to some degree. I might actually ask Alan to clip that so I can post that on social media. But because again, a lot of people need the answer to that to understand what's what. Reese says, I believe when the computer age came along, they said everyone will be broke. And if you do research, they thought the world would end when calculators came. Yes, I actually remember that when calculators came out, people were like, oh my God, like these things calculate and do math for us. Like, what's gonna happen? Yeah, it might be the same thing with AI. Maybe we are, or maybe I am. Let me not say we, because y'all gonna be like, we who? Cyrus, you're the one that's doom and gloom. Who says, I just want to break into tech to fuel my car addiction and provide it for my family. That's funny. I love it. I love it. All right. So again, this is crazy news to me. But we got some other news to talk about. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it back over to Ash while I read through some of the comments. Thank you for taking your time and educating people. Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. Look, y'all, I enjoy making money and being blessed financially, but you realize like life is truly about giving back and helping people and pouring into people, not for the sake that you hurt yourself, but for the sake that it makes life fulfilling. It makes life fulfilling, at least for me, and I believe that's how God has made most of us. Oh, my bad. You added the other thing. I didn't realize it was on here.
No problem. So
Why is it
let's get into
small?
it. This is the perfect transition into our next news topic, which is Elon Musk's newest data center. So as you guys can see here, Elon tweeted. So this huge AI system data center, it's called Colossus, and it's a 100,000 H100 training cluster. From start to finish, it was done in 122 days. And so this is considered the most
Wow.
powerful AI training system in the world. Um, Essentially, to give you a bit of an idea, it's going to double in size and to 200,000 in a few months. So when we're thinking of how to power AI systems and getting into transitioning and evolving from data to compute, I mean, we're looking at huge players. I mean, Elon Musk is taking the forefront of it by collaborating with NVIDIA, who provided him with the chips. And so this is not the end. This is just the beginning, you guys. And so he's actually, Elon Musk is estimating that he's, of course, going to double the capacity within a few months, but also procuring 50,000 chips of NVIDIA's new advanced H200 series, which is roughly twice as powerful. I mean, it sounds crazy to even say, like, what do you mean you're going to double in power and you're going to continue to double every month, you know? So yeah, I mean, this is huge. This is next level. And essentially, we're looking at changing the game with these AI systems that are set to revolutionize AI development. And it's going to really push the boundaries of large scale AI training. And so I invite you guys to just really think on a few of these questions. So, first and foremost, how do you think that Colossus will change the future of AI development? And what concerns do you have about the environmental impact of such powerful AI systems? We know with Bitcoin, of course, it took a lot of power that was perhaps detrimental to the environment. And so AI is going to also require sustainable systems to power it. And our last question, could systems like Colossus lead to breakthroughs in achieving AGI? So we're getting into artificial general intelligence. So it's really, I mean, it's getting to the next level, guys. So Cyrus, would love to hear your thoughts. And of course, the community, feel free to pitch in as well.
This is probably, I don't know, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, because what I'm about to say, I can't say for sure is a fact. It is just my opinion. This appears to be the first time in history where every leader in the market across the globe is focused primarily on one thing. Like we've seen, like we saw when Tesla really was kind of in its prime. Now, mind you, Tesla is still successful, but I would say Tesla was really in their prime maybe 2 years ago, in the sense that most other car companies were like, okay, we need to go ahead and work on electric vehicles, potentially self-driving vehicles. Now, that's still a goal of a lot of these companies, but it's not as big a goal anymore. And also, every car company, not every single car company was wanted to do it. Many of them were having to do it because their local government was saying, hey, we need you to do this thing, which local government is not a good business. Like they themselves are not good at telling businesses what they need to do with their business model. It's actually stupid, because if governments were good at that, then our societies and communities would run better, because the government would be better at running things, which they're not. That being said, I don't know, like, let me know, like, in the comments, let me know what y'all think in the chat, because I can't think. In mind, y'all, I'm 34 years old. I'm not Jesus. I haven't been here for forever and known everything. Nevertheless, based on my understanding of history, of business, of market shifting, I can't think of a time where everyone has been focused on one thing. And so to see that Elon Musk is investing, because y'all know these chips, like how many chips, how many did they buy from NVIDIA?
100,000 NVIDIA H100 GPUs.
These GPU chips, what was it? I saw it a couple of days ago. the GPU chips themselves, I could be wrong, could be thinking of another type of chip, but I know NVIDIA has chips where each individual chip, they're charging, I think, $2,500 for each chip. It cost NVIDIA about $100 or $200 to make each chip, but their margins are crazy. They're charging like 10x or more than that in terms of how much it costs them to make it. So we're talking about, so let's say for argument's sake that NVIDIA, let's just make the math relatively easy. Let's say they're only charging $1,000 for these GPUs. If Elon Musk, if he just bought, how many did you say that they just bought? Is it 100,000?
100,000.
Mm-hmm. So 100,000 multiplied by 1,000. Somebody know the math. Somebody do the math. 100,000 multiplied by $1,000 is that? I don't know. What is that? $100 million? Somebody let me know in the chat who has a calculator. Or is that $1 billion? I think it's 100 million. I think it's 100 million. Either way, that's some crazy money for him to drop. Like, that's, even though these people have a lot of money, that's not like some, okay, that's a theory that we think this is going to be the thing. They're investing so much into this. So it's incredible. It's incredible. Yes, 100 million. Woo, look at that. Look at my math off the top of my head. Off the top. But AI, who needs AI to calculate when my math is so spot on and so good? Forget AI. No, I'm playing. I'm joking. So okay, cool. Yo, this is incredible, y'all. This is honestly incredible. I wonder if this is a question I'm going to ask before we turn it over to the chat. What's up, Lisa G? I wonder if Elon is focused, because y'all know Elon Musk. You know, I have a love-hate like feelings towards him. I like him a lot, and there are things about him I dislike. But that's like everybody. Things about myself I like and I don't like. Elon Musk is one of those people where sometimes he starts a business because he wants to revolutionize the world. Other times he'll start a business because he's beefing with somebody. And he's like, yeah. And we know right now, Elon Musk, Sam Altman are kind of low-key beef. It's more so Elon Musk is mad at Sam Altman, who, you know, for those that don't know, for context, Sam Altman is the CEO and founder of OpenAI, which is the parent company to ChatGPT. Elon Musk was an original investor, and he was told that OpenAI would never be for-profit, that it was going to be something that's just to help the advancement of the world, which now they've shifted that model, and now they're focused on making profit. So I wonder if Elon is investing so much in this tech really to try to compete with OpenAI, or if he's investing in it because he's passionate about it. I don't know.
I think it's a bit of both. I mean, they say that Tesla itself is an AI company. Optimus is coming up with his robots that he's developing. So I think it's all full circle. So obviously with autonomous driving, it requires robotic systems, it requires artificial intelligence. And so Elon Musk, essentially, he's making moves to dominate artificial intelligence in this technology. Obviously the competitors, Sam Altman is pretty famous for saying, and this is not an exact quote, but essentially he said, I made a quote about Elon where he was like, let me make sure I get this right. Elon Musk is set on saving the world, but only if he himself does it. So like, I guess that might speak towards more so like of their beef where, you know what I'm saying, it seems like Elon may be competing, but with this, there is going to be no competition. And I think that Elon is pretty used to dominating industries, and this is no different. I will say that the next set of news is just going to get even crazier, you guys. We're evolving into how supercomputers are evolving into AGI. And so it really is insane. I mean, I think touching on a few of the comments here. So starting off with Blue TV's comment saying the ROI of this AI information and getting into tech can be generational. Your great grandchildren will resent you hearing you had the chance to be a trillionaire and didn't take it. Listen, moment of silence for that one, because there's so much opportunity on the table to where everyone can get a piece of the pie. And so when we're thinking on how we can make money in this industry, it's just going to take the simple action of gaining AI skills, which is provided directly through different boot camps or through AI resources and tools. So Jimmy Miller says, I think I don't understand what a cluster is. Are we talking about the energy it takes to make computations happen? I'm not going to pretend that I understand, the complexities of a supercomputer, but you know what? I'm going to do some research so I can, answer that question, because I'm not even sure exactly what even a cluster is myself. But I do understand that it's a massive amount of power, which is crazy. So definitely something to look into. So Miss Princess said, it is artificial intelligence, no replacement to a brilliant mind. Facts. No one can replace humans. It's, again, artificial intelligence is here to enhance, not to replace. Also says, thank you to Cyrus and Ash. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate your time. We appreciate your time. And so now I guess I'll just transition and pass it over to Cyrus.
Man, you know what's crazy? I literally completely forgot that that the topic we were talking about was the news you brought up. So I was so mentally invested into it that I was like, oh man. But I'm now realizing, oh snap, that literally was the topic of discussion that you had. So let me pull up the next topic of discussion for us. Jesus Princess says, off to work. Love it. I love it. Yeah, if you can, Jimmy, going back to what she said, if you can clarify what your question or comment is, that would be very helpful for us. Why is this not pulling up? This is not pulling up. All right. I don't know why this, I don't know if the site took this topic down. That's kind of spooky and weird. But we'll go to the next topic then. And this will be the last topic that I have. Oh no.
Technical difficulties. Well, Cyrus, while you work on pulling that up, well, you can continue the conversation on AGI and artificial general intelligence, you guys. So to define artificial general intelligence, essentially we're looking at where robots and computers surpass the intelligence of humans, to where in essence they are conscious. They have an understanding of their being and place in the world and universe. So AI itself, we can really define as a massive aggregate set of data. And so it's just knowledge and information. And so when we're taking, in essence, the totality of all the knowledge and information that exists in the world, and we think of exactly, what that means for AI systems that have this information, what does that become? What does it evolve into? And so that is what is defined as AGI. And so there are levels to it. I recently actually found out that there's like ASI in the future. Like we're thinking like it's going to be AI and then AGI and that's it. But there's so many more levels to it. And so then we're going to get into the singularity, to where in essence, AI, robots, etc., can replace humans in many ways. To where it's literally indistinguishable from human form and human interaction, human essence. So super, super exciting topics. Cyrus, feel free to butt in whenever you.
Jimmy clarified. He said he was just asking for a deeper explanation as to what's happening with Elon building such a huge facility. Yeah, so basically, like, why is he doing it? It sounds like what you're asking. Like, why is he spending so much? Like, what is the end goal of the ROI of what it is he's doing? Ash, I guess you explain.
Yeah, computational power to run his AI systems, which translates to his robots, either Optimus or even Tesla cars. So Elon considers Tesla cars to be robots themselves. So obviously, yeah, exactly. So you guys already know the name of the game there. But essentially, yes, he's buying into power. And not only does he have this compute, but he also has several satellites with Starlink technology. I mean, he has Neuralink technology. So when we think of how all of these things are coming together, I don't think that we can even comprehend exactly the potential of the reality of what Elon Musk is really bringing into the world. So, yeah, I appreciate the clarification, Jimmy.
They're kind of going back to the quote that the Ash said that Sam Altman says about Elon Musk, where he's like, yo, he's dead set on saving the world, but only if he's the one to save it. So instead of him investing his money into these other companies that are already doing it, he's like, no, I'm going to do it myself. Now, so instead of him investing in a open AI or in any of their competitors, he's like, no, we're just going to build out our own, which is smart for him to do. Now, obviously, he is giving a lot of money to NVIDIA because NVIDIA is so far ahead. It's like a company. I'm not going to say that nobody can start a competitor to NVIDIA right now and ever outcompete NVIDIA. That will be extremely, it will take a long time to do that. That would be a very complicated goal. And NVIDIA, the executive team, they work so hard. The CEO, the founder of NVIDIA, recently said in an interview, and this is after they became the most successful company in the world, and now they're battling between second and third place. The founder of NVIDIA recently said that if he could go back in time, he never would have even created it. He never would have done it. Not because they're not successful, but because he said that the level of effort that he's put into it, he never knew it was going to be this hard. He said if he could go back and talk to his younger self, he would say, just don't do it. Just don't do it. Because it's going to take so much of your life and time. So, they put a lot of work into it. So very interesting stuff. I don't know. Elon Musk, one thing about him, I read his book, not his recent one that came out a couple years ago, but the one that was written before X, before all these other things that he's basically collaborated with or has taken over. In the book, it starts off talking about him as a child and how his dream was to be a hero, like to be like a superhero. And so like his biggest thing is to try to save the world. He wants to be like, his goal is not to be the richest. A lot of them, once you're in the billions, especially like the kind of billions they're playing with, their biggest goal isn't necessarily to be the richest person. Sometimes their biggest goal is to be like the king who's made the biggest impact. And so very, very interesting stuff. All right, y'all. So Reese made a comment. I believe Elon's new factory will be the Amazon of compute. Ooh, he would charge a subscription for the compute power, which we will all need. It's about to get crazy, y'all. All right, so my last piece of news that we have is something that should have happened a long time ago. Is with Alexa and all of these other different assistant bots that we have being AI enhanced now. So 5 new features Alexa AI will bring to paying subscribers next month, which that's this current month. We're in September. So I'm going to go ahead and jump down. So literally so Alexa, which I actually have an Alexa in here, it doesn't work because I'm having trouble getting it connected to the Wi-Fi with my Airbnb that I'm in. Maybe it's because of the country I'm in. I don't know. But anyway, so smart briefing. Amazon appears to be keen to launch its AI-powered Alexa before the U.S. presidential election, and for good reason. One of its key features will apparently be a new smart briefing feature. According to the leaked documents, these will give you daily AI-generated summaries of news articles that are selected based on a customer's preferences. Woo! Y'all know how much I'm gonna know all the latest and greatest tech news and stuff. AI. I'm gonna know as much stuff as Ash with this type of technology. I'm gonna be updated on everything. This is gonna be crazy. Anyway, this will be quite an upgrade on the existing Alexa, which doesn't handle political questions particularly well, and Amazon will clearly need to be confident in the accuracy of Alexa's replies in such an important year. All right, other updates, more personalized responses. The leaked Amazon document suggests that the AI-powered Alexa will feel more conversational and charismatic and will learn to recognize the individual voices of new customers and ask people questions about themselves so as to be more helpful later. Woo! You about to literally have like a whole person in your crib, for the most part, where somebody else can walk in and address it, and it'll be like, "Hey, who are you? We haven't met before." This stuff is so cool, y'all. I'm so happy I'm so hyped that we live in this day and age that this futuristic technology is it's happening so fast in front of us. It's like we literally going to be living in like a future dystopian movie. But it's like we get to see the dystopia happening. So it's not like a movie where it's you start in the dystopia, and it's not like a movie where it's before. It's like we literally are watching all of this stuff happen and evolving with it. It's about to be crazy. Cooking help. Yeah, I'm not very good cooking, so this is gonna be good for me. All right, so there isn't any more detail on exactly how this will be achieved. Yeah, I'm not really sure how impressive this is, to be honest, the cooking help part. And then again, maybe it'll be very impressive. Again, we don't really know what it'll look like. All we can do is kind of speculate. Shopping Scout. Let me know. I'm curious to y'all, like, which one of these stand out to you the most. So I'm kind of reading through here. According to the leaked documents, you'll be able to ask it questions like, do you have any deals on headphones? Or what colors do these shoes come in? Even better, a new product called Shopping Scout will apparently let you know when something you're looking to buy has just gone on sale. Whoa, that's going to be fire. That's going to be fire. That could be handy during Black Friday deals events. Although given that those deals are sometimes questionable, you'll still want to corroborate the results with tech experts. Like, for example, Ash. All right, and lastly, an AI assistant for kids. I don't know. All right, let me go ahead and read through here. All right, this one will likely prove the most controversial. Yep, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of controversial. Controversial of Alexa AI's new powers. According to the Washington Post report, Amazon hopes its rebooted shopping assistant will prove compelling to children. The documents that the leaked documents suggest that a new experience called Explore with Alexa 2.0 will let verified children have back and forth exploratory conversations with Alexa about any topic under the sun. Wow. We might have a day and age where our children are listening to AI more than us. They're not even coming to us asking questions. I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing. For parents that are here in the chat or that are watching this later, how do you feel about this? Because I know one of the things that sometimes can annoy parents is when your child is asking you 1,000 questions. They're like, well, okay, what is this? How's this? What's that? And it's like, especially when they reach a certain age where they have a question about everything. Let me know, like, do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? Like, what would you prefer for your child to be around you, asking their watch or asking whatever technology they have questions about the world? And maybe you're there to moderate and say, no, that's not true. That's not true. But at the same time, at some point, the children will say, well, the AI says it's true. Why should I trust you over the AI? We might get to a day and age where children just are not listening or being raised by parents at all, where they're like, nope, they're just trusting in AI. Then it gets scary because then these companies, these corporations, these platforms could be trying to manipulate our children the same way they're doing right now with certain TV shows and things that they're putting out there. This is getting really interesting. Ash, what are your thoughts on this? Like, first off, I want to know from all of these pieces, whether we're talking about, whether we're talking about the smart briefing, I know you're going to use that. Whether we're talking about the more personalized responses, or basically you having a roommate, even if you live by yourself, you having like a roommate that's there that ain't paying no bills, but a roommate that's there. Cooking help, Shopping Scout, and then the assistant for kids. Like, which one of these do you think is the most interesting? And overall, like, how do you feel about this? The updates that Alexa and obviously Google Voice and Siri and all these other platforms are about to make.
So personally, I think the major benefit of this technology is personalized experiences, which is obviously a positive, but I consider myself to be more so paranoid when it comes to devices like Alexa. Like, if Alexa is like always listening, like if there's an Alexa device in the room, like I'm just gonna unplug it because I don't want it listening to me. And I'm just like paranoid with the technology. Just like a few of the comments I forgot. There's a few people. So Nisha said that there's no such thing as privacy these days, and we need to be careful with that because not all information is good information. Just kind of doubling back on what you said, Cyrus, as far as the information that's being given to these kids. But at the same time, these changes are going to really be inevitable. And so when it comes down to a future where everybody has an AI assistant, even kids, even children who are going to have AI agents or assistants that they grow up with, that know them, that see their lives through the lens of digital realities. It's going to change everything to the point where it's hard to see long term how it's going to translate. But besides Alexa, I've also seen kind of the evolution of these devices where they have like little interactive toys or like actual desktop robots, or it's not just going to be a small device that you talk to. It's going to be something that you take with you everywhere you go. And so even when we speak on our devices that we use every day, Apple devices, etc., they're always listening. Our phones are always listening to us. We know that. And so it really brings the conversation of, again, like security to the table. To what level of security do we want? I believe that obviously, first and foremost, we want to protect the kids. We want to protect their minds. They're developing minds. And so I mean, it definitely is crazy. I mean, a few of the comments here definitely have attested to that. I want to cover a few of these points, which are pretty major. So Jimmy says, just a side note, the CEO of Microsoft admitted that AI will be used to split DNA, which could lead to the spread of pathogens at elaborate levels. So that means COVID-19 times 10. I mean, it's going to change everything, especially from a healthcare perspective. Not only are we going to be able to, like you said, splice DNA, have gene editing to where we can enhance our genomes, but we can also manipulate it in toxic ways, which is why ethics should be the priority when it comes down to AI. We need to first and foremost start off with ethics and security before we get into any other realms, because the lines are going to become very, 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 very transparent when it comes to, the dangers and realities that are coming.
What is Xenon? I don't remember this. I remember this from Back to the Future, where they put, what was it, like a pill or something in the microwave, and then it made an entire meal for them. Yeah. So Rhonda says, I think parents should monitor this. Lisa G says parents should block it and allow their children basically to do the research. Now, the thing is that I think is tough about this, because I agree, but at the same time, again, to what degree does that hinder the child's growth in comparison to other kids? And when I say growth, I mean growth in terms of them being educated with things. So because if my child doesn't have access to the latest technology, and then they're kind of doing things in an outdated sense where they have to manually research things instead of them being able to like just ask questions and have technology expedite their education. Because essentially what we're discussing is, like, I think about myself, and I'm sure everybody here can relate, but myself when I was a kid, and I became very fascinated with religion and with different faiths and different beliefs, and particularly like Christianity and Islam. I remember that I would ask like my family members questions, and then as soon as I reached the point to where they couldn't answer my questions anymore, I kind of knew everything they knew. Then I would want to find someone else who was able to give me more answers. And then eventually I would exhaust everything they knew. And I kept doing that. And that became a constant thing that I did to be able to grow and expedite my knowledge. But the limitation that I had was that I was limited by who I had in my network to be able to educate me. Essentially, what we're saying is this removes you needing a network of people to have education. This, for the most part, I forget what the actual term is I think decentralization. It decentralizes education, which, again, let's be clear. I understand technically you could say the internet already does that, but not necessarily. Because even when you Google something, you Google things, it could bring up a bunch of different articles, and you have to fact check each article with each article with each article. Even though you still will probably have to do some fact checking with AI, it at least expedites it. So instead of a child needing to hop on their computer or needing to hop on their phone and Google something, they could literally just real time just ask a question and be like, how does that work? I even think about this in terms of finances and taxes. I'm not going to lie to y'all. My brain is like, okay, I need to figure out this tax stuff a bit better. I need to figure out this financial stuff better. And I'm not talking about from the sense of just taxes, but I'm talking about even in terms of investments. Because I'm looking at all of these companies, and my mind is like, yo, I'm about to start investing aggressively in some of these companies. But I also know that there's loopholes with investments. I know that, okay, if you pull out your investments, you can be taxed on your investments, but there's a way around that. So it's like all of these things where you could literally just ask the AI bot, say, hey, look, I'm investing in this company. I'm investing in these companies. What's the proper way for me to invest? Should I invest in the companies, or should I take money? I should have my business invest in the companies. So that way it's technically my business's investment. So maybe if the business pulls it out, I don't get taxed. My business doesn't get taxed. Not saying that's the way it works. I'm just saying you can literally ask AI, like, what's the best route for me to invest that when I pull the money out, I will not get taxed, or I will get taxed the least on the investment. And AI will be like, boom, 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 this is the route you go. And instead of having to look it up, you literally just ask it. And it could just tell you. And then say, okay, cool, I love that. Send that over to me via email in a document. AI will say, cool, I just sent it to your email address. Or which email address do you want me to send it to? It can send it there. And they're like literally, it could do this for you. Man, this is about, it really goes back to the name of the game is going to be who is leveraging this technology the most. Because if you could be a person where you're like, I'm just going to Google everything, or I'm going to just type in and research and read through these articles, or you could be a person that's driving in your car and ask it a question so you can get educated while you're driving or riding your car, or while you're on a train, or while you're working out, or whatever that is. I don't know, y'all. This is crazy. Reese says, all information is as good as the information it's being fed. True. You have countries that are monitoring what the AI spreads. Her friends. I think you're referring to the more personalized responses. So like the movie Her, but Friends. Wu says, I'm a father. I'm trying to find out how to incorporate child safety to tablets while using AI so to enhance child learning with games. But I want to patent it before reaching out to engineers. So I would tell you this. My suggestion, Wu, would be, I mean, you can do however you want to do it, honestly. Either one, you can get with an engineer and you make them a co-owner or a co-founder of it, and then you two build it together. Because I'm gonna tell you, if you, because you can't patent an idea. Like there's no patent on an idea. You can't say, oh, I have this idea for this thing, so I'm gonna patent it. You can only patent something you've created, or you can patent a process. You know, like Amazon used to have a patent. I'm not sure if they still do. They used to have a patent on the click to buy, like where literally you just click to purchase. They used to have a patent on that. Apple used to have a patent on, you remember when the button used to be there on the iPhone and you would just kind of put your finger there. Like actually the swipe up thing, like literally you just swiping up to unlock the phone. I think it was Apple that had a patent on that. And so you could have a patent on these things, but you can't have a patent on them. You can't say, hey, I have this idea and have a patent. So technically speaking, you mind you, speak with a patent lawyer. I'm not a patent attorney. Speak with a patent attorney, which only costs like a couple $100 to speak with a patent attorney. But based on what I've learned, when I've spoken with patent attorneys, again, I'm not one, so this is not legal advice, but based on what I've learned, is that you can't just say, I have this idea, this thing, whatever, but technically speaking, you will have to kind of create it or create the process of it, whatever that might look like. But again, speak with a patent attorney. Also, I would tell you this, most engineers, I'm not gonna say none would do this, most engineers are not business owners. They don't have a business mind. So usually you can take a business idea to an engineer, you can pitch it to them, and usually they're not going to say, oh, I'm going to create that myself and then have that as a business. Because first off, it takes them a long time to create that. They're not going to be getting paid for it. It's really a lot that goes into it. It's a lot. I have people now that say, hey, Cyrus, I want to talk to you about my business idea, but can I have you sign my NDA before? And I say, just don't talk to me about it, because I just don't care that much, because it could be the most revolutionary idea ever, and I'm not going to do it because I'm too busy. Like, you have too much going on. Like, you have a lot of stuff going on and you're passionate about what you're doing. Somebody could come to you with an idea that will make you 10 times more money, 100 times more money. It could be great, but you're not. I'm going to tell you the problem that you will more than likely deal with. And also, again, I'm not trying to sound insulting to you at all, by the way, but I would tell you this, and I know this from the founder of Calendly, the founder of Uber. I mean, you can go down the list, the founder of Airbnb. Their biggest challenge was not someone stealing their idea. Their biggest challenge was getting engineers to even work on the idea with them. And so, because engineers either want a lot of money, or if they genuinely love the idea, they got to be passionate about it. Some of them will work on it for no money, but just for equity in the business. But that's actually rare. So to take the idea of an engineer just going out and building something themselves, where they're not a marketer, they're not a salesperson, they don't fully understand business. By the way, I'm not saying that if you're an engineer, you don't understand business. It's just it's so much that goes into it. It's actually pretty insane. So I'm saying all that to say, I think you'll be fine. I love the idea. I think you will be okay speaking with some engineers and seeing who might be interested in collaborating with you on it. The show with a Z, Xenon. Oh yeah, Xenon, girl of the 24th century.
Yeah,
I think that's the movie. Is that the name of the movie?
Something like that with Raven Simone. Classic.
Was it? Yeah, she wasn't the main actress.
She wasn't the main character. She's the best friend.
Yes, man, that's a deep cut. Oh, I remember that. You gotta push it to the limit. Or
that's High School Musical. You mean
no.
The Z9 was zoom, 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 zoom. My supernova girl.
Yeah. Was that nature? Ferric. Our love is automatic. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
That was a vibe.
Yo, I want to know in the chat who all knows about this. I say, wow. Yeah, y'all. That's hilarious. All right, Woo TV. The show, the Xenon, my bad. Xenon is chemical for something. I don't know. All right, Jimmy says, okay, cool. To jump off. Thank you for doing this. Woo says, all right, I'm speaking with one overseas, engineer overseas. They keep asking me what I want to make or create, but I don't want them to run off with the idea. Yeah, Woo. If you're speaking with engineers overseas, it's and no whatever. I'm gonna stop saying no disrespect. I don't mean disrespect, so I'm gonna just say what I'm gonna say. People can take it as disrespect or not as disrespect. Engineers in general, they're usually just looking to make money, because you have to keep in mind they're just looking for you to pay them. So when they're asking you, what are you creating, they're not asking you so you can tell them so they can run off and create it themselves. They're just asking, what are you creating, so they can determine how hard it'll be to make it. Because sometimes you think it's something that's simple and they'll be like, yo, that's really complicated to make. Or sometimes it is something you think would be hard and they're like, oh, that's actually not that hard. Either way, they kind of really want to know, just so they can know either how much time is going to take them, how much investment of their time, as well as basically how much they're going to want you to pay them. So they're not asking because they're trying to get a cool idea. Because I promise you, engineers are pitched amazing ideas all the time, nonstop. And they're not trying to run off and start it themselves. Because again, the time it takes to even build it, because let me put it this way. You could go to an engineer. That one engineer, I don't really care. Not I don't really care. It doesn't matter what your idea is. It's going to require more than one engineer. Now, maybe to start it at the beginning, you can do it with just one engineer to start it. But to actually build everything out, you're talking it taking several, if not several dozen engineers eventually over time. So that one engineer doesn't have the time, they don't have the capacity to build all the technology themselves, let alone market it, run sales, set up the business structure, all of those pieces that comes into business. Like it takes so much. So they can know your idea, maybe even know how to make it, but that doesn't mean they have the time to make it. And it doesn't mean, and it definitely, they don't have those other pieces to make it as well. Because that's really the tough part. That's really, really the tough part. All right. Wow. Y'all are showing your age. Okay. Nope. What are you saying nope to? LA? All right, cool. So y'all, I believe that is it when it comes to the tech and AI news. Ash, is there anything else that you have for the people before we wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, let's just show this quick slide here, because you know what, y'all have to see this. You have to see it, and
Whoa.
then
Yo,
we'll end
she
on.
says we got to see it.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me tell you what's really cool about these weekly tech and AI news. Ash and I don't even really communicate what topics we're going to discuss that have happened that week. So this shows you for perspective how much is happening every single week. That her and I could literally come on with our own news, and then we don't overlap on the topics. That's like really, y'all. So when she brings up the news, it's news to me most of the time. Sometimes it's something I've known about. Other times, like usually what happens is I'm sitting here learning too. Like, wow, that's crazy. Woo TV says definitely just want to keep the IP protection or insurance in place for both parties. You heard about the original Burger King. Nobody knows what they're doing. They stuck in Chicago. That's actually hilarious. Now the thing is though, we're gonna talk about the news that Ash has. This is a good topic though, Woo. I love it. I love it. I love the topic that you're discussing, and I love that you are that you're protective of it. That's a dope thing, and I completely support that. Let me pull this back up. Okay, cool. Let's see what this is. Let me take this off. How do I
You
remove this
guys,
from the screen?
so this is just kind of the major bang of information where we can expect a new supercomputer network to go live this month. So we were talking about AI transitioning and evolving into AGI. And so I just want to propose that AGI perhaps will be here sooner than later. And so that's again going to require what's the optimal solution for the everyday individual. It's just going to take us to again gain those skills. So sign up for the boot camp if you're not already signed up, if you're not already connected to speak with the career advisors. Most definitely tap in because AI skills are going to be the most in demand, probably skill set that's going to exist in the future. So you want to go ahead and prepare yourselves for the inevitable future.
When we talk about this, can you explain, I guess, what this means? Because okay, supercomputer network is going live this month. It could usher in AGI. What does this translate to for the regular
Okay.
person to the else in general?
Okay, well, first of all, this supercomputer is run by a network called Singularity Net. Okay, and let's start there because we've all seen the movies. But essentially, they're looking at building their own software that essentially can federate compute clusters. So this will allow for the simplification of data and will also allow for protection from everyday users to be exposed to dangers of technology. So it essentially says that these supercomputers could be used for everything from scientific research, we discussed on gene splicing, gene editing, et cetera, we're getting there, and also some tasks that are already being used for advancing the future of AI. Essentially, we're looking at this supercomputer itself being a breakthrough in the transition to artificial general intelligence. So before our eyes, we're looking at a massive paradigm shift. And we thought that perhaps a supercomputer would come alive and AGI would come alive, by the end of this year, maybe into next year. But, this month, supposedly, we're going to be looking at this AGI system. So that's just, a food for thought. Food for thought.
So is this is going to, so essentially the advancements we're seeing weekly, monthly, when it comes to generative AI, and let's say like right now, let's say we theorize that in the next 5 years, basically every industry is going to be disrupted or completely transformed. This essentially is going to expedite the process to where like it could make things happen significantly sooner than even what we're thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we're looking into a future of, we've all seen movies, I, Robot, for example, where we have robotic systems that are really integrating into our society, and AI is really evolving to become closer and closer to human essence and being. And so, yes, in conclusion, that future is now. We're living in the future right now. So yeah.
Man. Oh man, this is really crazy. This is, man, I going back to what was said, what you said earlier, you're like, yo, our children and grandchildren are going to ask us, like, for those that don't, because what we don't want to happen, we don't want this to be entertainment information where it's just, oh, that's interesting, that's cool to know. The goal of this is for this to be information that moves us, that compels us to do something. Whether, like, if you're a person where you're already making a lot of money, invest that money, that revenue, into what's happening with a lot of these technologies, become a part owner equity-wise in some of these businesses. If you don't have a bunch of money, get in this industry, so that way you can at least leverage the money from this industry to build out a nest egg to invest, whether in real estate or in this technology. And if you are a person that is passionate about being a business owner, leverage this technology as best you can, so that way you can outcompete the market. Because either one, you can cut costs in business when it comes to leveraging this technology, and two, you can speed up the process, the growth of your business. It was a quote that, it's a popular quote, but I've been seeing more and more people say it recently, is that, like, speed is the number one winner in business, is how quickly can you do something. And so, yeah, y'all, either invest in this technology, work in this technology, or build this technology. That's really what all of this is about. But of course, make sure you are aware of what's happening as well. Amazing topic, Ash. Look, y'all, thank y'all for all y'all that have been tuning in, that have been engaging when it comes to the weekly tech and AI news. We definitely continue to do this. We want to, like, upgrade this and make this better. And so, but at the end of the day, we're able to do this because you all are all here. Because as much Ash and I, we like to talk about this stuff, but we're happy to be able to talk about these things with y'all and get you all's input as well. All right, last comment we have one here from Wu TV. He says, but yeah, Z9, girl of the 20, it was of the 21st century. Dang, I thought it was like of the 24th century.
Right?
If it's of the 21st century,
we got some catching up to do.
Yeah. Where's Google at?
I'm gonna double check it. Yeah, because they were living in, like, a space facility, and she had to come back down to space. I low-key, like, watched the movie, like, again. So it was really good.
These are the 21st century. You're right.
Yeah.
These are the 21st century. Whoa. We got some. Hey, we need Elon Musk to hurry up and make us interplanetary species. Because, yeah, we're not on their level. Because, yeah, they were living in space, right? Like on a space station.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. The 21st, man, how much longer do we have? We have another 70, 74. We have like 75 years and some change to catch up with. I mean, technically speaking, that is enough time. I don't know. That kind of is enough time, especially with AI and everything that's happening. All right, y'all. Appreciate all y'all for being here. Ash, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on here, giving us this amazing insight as always. Y'all have a lovely, lovely rest of your weekend.